Hello.
Hello.
Again, after a very long hiatus.
Three and a half months, actually.
Probably more now.
Yeah.
We were away visiting family, which was wonderful after a very long time in July and August.
Yeah.
And then on our return, it took a while to get momentum going again, or motivation.
Motivation, actually.
While we were gone, the van went to visit our friends nearby who build vans, and they put the shower bathroom in for us. And we're going to do some other things, but they haven't happened yet. So we're currently in a van week, which means we're trying to reduce all external distractions so that we can work on the van all day, every day, to get it to the point where we can give it back to them next week when there's another little hiatus, so that they can connect up the gas, electric and water systems properly for us.
Yes, we're leaving it for them because actually, although I can do it, they're using some newfangled connectors, etc., that I don't really understand, and they can get hold of them, and so we've given them the job to do the water particularly, and to do the switching. I'm putting in the switches, but they're actually doing the wiring up. It's not that I can't do it, it's just that I find it rather difficult to do this crimping, etc., and to make sure that that crimp locks in the wire, which somehow I don't seem to be able to do, which is really awful.
Well, look, we're not too proud to ask
No,
for
we're
help.
not too proud. It's true.
It's good to ask for help, and people who are doing this all the time to make sure, hopefully, that it gets right.
Although one of the connectors came off, which they had done the other day, so I'm rather miffed. Anyway,
one of the things they did was to put in a massive hot water heater, which actually you can't see, but it's behind this. So we had to, instead of having a cupboard that was going to be a pantry or a hanging space, it now houses this very large water heater, which will be great because it's constant. And we've got a little cubby next to it, and we will have a little pantry pull out underneath. But that's been a very complicated piece of engineering to work out the best way of doing it, how to make it fit and work.
And it sort of it challenged my carpentry skills. I think we've actually done a reasonable job of it, but it's not easy. I don't find it easy anyway.
And our seating area is now finished,
yes.
And our local guy who makes curtains and curtains and cushions and things is coming by this afternoon to measure it to make a cushion for us, so that will be great. The kitchen is coming along.
Beginning to do the kitchen.
The carcass is installed. We didn't start yesterday. It was done months ago. But we've secured the carcass now and got the fridge secured. We've installed the sink into the countertop, and now we have to get the countertop into its place and around the cooker on the other side. Our cooker door broke when we opened the box. It was shattered, so we ordered a new one, and a new top came instead, so we had to send that back. Ordered a new door, which has come, but we haven't installed. But apart from bare essentials like drawers and cupboards, the space is there for those. So I think the end is in sight.
Yeah, in about 3 or 4 weeks probably.
Well,
I keep on saying 3 weeks, and that's
there's all the little things. The days where we go, let's just put this piece of corner trim on. We'll just cut it, and then something goes wrong with the cutting, and so you just have a smaller piece, and then you add another piece, and then you have to fill it, and things that you think will take 5 minutes can end up taking an hour. So,
or a day, actually.
It's we've been blessed with
great weather,
good weather for working. Although we desperately need rain, Turkey is having a big drought. And our time has been slightly... We now swim 3 mornings a week in the sea, which has been fantastic. There's a whole group of us doing it. Solihan goes much further and much faster than I do.
We've been doing it for the last year actually, so and it's great to have Alicia joining. I have to say that I get into the water and whinge. It is cold.
It was 21 degrees today.
In the water?
Yeah.
Not in the water.
Centigrade, yes.
No, really?
Yes.
Oh well, it didn't feel like
it. It felt great to me, and every time I get in, I just think, oh my God, this is so good. So I hope we can continue throughout the winter.
Where it gets very cold.
But it'll be much less enticing on days that aren't sunny and bright, I'm sure. Absolutely. So we're working away.
Beavering away.
The idea of filming while we were working felt just too much. At one point it was like, we just need to get this done, and filming felt like an extra thing. But we actually had some Turkish van lifer friends of ours, young couple, came by last week
Murat and Bushra,
to interview us, and I think they re-inspired us to try and film again and get this going.
I mean, they're really quite extraordinary. They do. I mean, like a lot of you van lifers, you do very exciting things. I think we're a little mundane.
Well, we're building.
No, we don't.
Our
do
life
funny
is not
things.
mundane.
No, that's true.
We will add their YouTube channel.
YouTube channel, yes.
In the notes, so that you can look them up if you'd like to.
Very nice, very, very nice couple, young couple, which is very inspiring, actually. Good, all right.
To work.
Are you sitting comfortably?
But I can't stay comfortable.
Here we are being filmed again. And not even our own. So the question is, the van.
The van.
The van.
Oh dear, we talked about that a bit. Well, I could start because it was my idea. Why the van?
Have you got this on? We've managed to do all of the boarding here. I'm going to put around here a piece of wood. This is actually cedar, which we've got, so it'll be all the way around. That will finish it off quite nicely. There will be some cupboards here all the way along, but unfortunately we can't go to here. We've got to make a little space here so that the curtain that we're going to be putting across here will be able to fold back into this little recess. Here is this looks like a mess, but in fact we had finished the kitchen unit, but what's happened is that the top was badly done, and so unfortunately I've had to take it back, and they're going to redo it. So they did it in oak, and they used oak for some reason which had cracks or fissures in it. So when we cut it out to fit the various pieces, actually they started to become rather unstable and then broke. So I've sent it back. So that's why it's looking a bit grotty, but anyway, it works. This has begun to paint the outside in situ. She's not very happy with that. Yeah, quite a lot of work. The difficulty here is, look, they've done a very nice job along here, and then there's a space here. So I'm trying not to duplicate that. So mine will come up here and around like that. So there'll be a sort of cupboard here, if you like. So here you can see I'm going to make a shelving unit here. It'll end about there. There'll probably be 2 shelves, one for a computer, I guess, and some books. This will actually go in a bit. Alright, so there's a gap here. So they can get at these screws if they have to remove the bloody thing. And then we'll come down here and put another shelf here. And then underneath here will be a pull-out drawer. She's painted this lovely green. And we've just about finished this. I had to recut this because it wasn't actually in properly. So she's got a... Alicia will have to paint it, unfortunately. We finished the T&Ging, right, which looks quite good. This needs to be pinned, and then we'll fill all of these in. And that should look actually rather nice. And then I'm going to be doing a fascia here with a hole for the heating, and then we'll go and get it all togged up for cushions, etc., etc. So there we are. It's coming slowly, slowly.
Where's the third? Screw? Yeah.
Black ones? Yeah.
We haven't made holes on these yet.
That's okay. So here is a sort of special cupboard with all our gear in it. We made holes here so we can lift it up, and there is all our bits and pieces. And I put a plug in there, so accessible sort of rather awkwardly from there, but that needs to be plugged in. And then there's a division here which we can just put things that we need, provisions, etc., etc., that we don't need all the time, but we can store. So quite pleased with that. It's been tidied up. The sanding's been done here to cover this all up. I'm not very sure that I like this particularly, but I think it'll be fine once it's painted. Yeah, quite a complicated piece for me, but actually it'll work.
Yet more painting.
What was that?
Yet more painting.
Indeed. So this is the corner cupboard. It's going to hide the heater.
A lot of this won't even be seen, but...
This is saying that doing this red and green is in fact really difficult, so she may...
It went under the tape.
Yeah, so she may tidy it up by doing all green.
No, that is not what I said.
Oh, what did you say?
By doing the lip.
Where are we?
Hold
on. Where's the lip?
The lip, just inside it, green. Well...
This is the dreaded time when we have to do scribing, and it's really hard. So we're doing a shelving unit here. Look, we've done these, which look actually quite nice. Coming down. Not quite right, is it?
No.
So where is it? It's just here. So and then that
Well, they're just
angle.
out slightly.
So here is the beginning of a little unit. This will go in at the backing, so it'll be pinned to the back like that. It's a little bent here, but that will be pulled in. And then we've got to make sure, of course, that that's straight. This is part of the problem, is that this is sloping backwards, so we've got to make sure I'll have to pin it along here and then in there. Make sure that these are parallel. So cut a little bit off this one here. And then we'll have shelf here, shelf here, shelf here. Down here I'm going to put a box, an electrical box for 220. So there will be one there. We've got another 220. Here's a 220 down there. Oh, and this is what I'm doing all the time, is banging my bloody head on here. This lovely arch that we did, all very nice, but I keep on forgetting. Anyway, and here's the tiles. I put this in last night. I've actually used screws here, so these are metal screws, and that's locked it in quite well. Then we'll put the shelf all along here, and we'll board it up from here. So this will be a cupboard for food and for clothes. This is the box, this is the spice tray that we're doing here. We've just sort of tacked it in here and glued it on either side. It's not an easy thing to do. And then we've got to lock it in. Another shelf unit beginning to be put together. It's all so bitty. But anyway, this is okay. This will be gelled in, basically. The other one is here. There we are. There's a shelf that's ready to be put in with holes for the painted. This is very good at painting. My wood supply is looking really rather voluminous, but also bitty. The workshop looks as if it's been used. You can see that. I'm giving up tonight, so that's just how it is. It's a lovely evening, autumnal evenings they'd say, and the light is beautiful. Looking through to the mountains on the other side, it's actually really lovely. So this is the long cupboard, which we're just about to build. This is the small cupboard, which is beginning to look as if it's going to work. We have a long drawer here, a door which we'll be able to open, and then there'll also be a door here which we'll be able to open. We won't have that open like that, we don't want to see it. It's a lift-up door, and
yeah, it will be. This is upside down and the wrong way around, but this is the kitchen cupboard above the kitchen counter, and then at the end of the bed, 2 cupboards for storage.
And everything is needing to be painted, as you can see.
Sanded,
painted, sanded innumerable times, and this has done a great job. It's not an easy job at all, this softwood. Probably I understand why people spray. This is a sort of diligent exercise. So here we have our shelves at long last. We've got these guys, alright, so of course no cupboard door. And shelf here. This has been a bit of a problematic, but I'm going to frame that on the end here. So these are not great, but they'll do. We've got a nice piece that will actually end on this side here. It's all pretty level. This we're going to paint green. Here we are, is this elusive project here that is going to be finished today. I've got to put a peg down here and a peg here, and it will stop it from coming out, we hope. So there we are, it's coming. See, we've got lights already done. There we are. See, in here it's all begun to be wired up, just as this one here. We can take it out from here, wire it underneath. All is good. Here it is, yet again doing a job that I hate the most, which is to sand and then paint. Which is a great job. It's sort of rather a bitty job, and I have to say that the filler seems not to really fix properly. It's very frustrating. It starts to take space and space shrink. It doesn't look so good, even though it's painted. So what I'm doing here is preparing for the back end of a shelf that's going to go above the doorway. So this will go on to the bodywork, but near the end, of course, the superstructure bends, so there's no straight lines in this band at all. So I'm having to cut a little bit off here so that this end piece of this backing board will start to bend in relationship to the superstructure. I hope it'll do it. If not, I'll just cut it off. So here I am doing a shelf, and this shelf is going to go above the door, the entrance of the door, and so it's going to be like this. It's going to be inserted like that, and then along the bulkhead is this slightly asymmetrical piece of wood, which will go like that, like that, yeah. And I've beveled along here 22 degrees, so that because the bulkhead has a slope, so I've got to accommodate the slope. So it's quite complicated. So there it is. I mean, this is slightly bent actually. So it's beveled here, about 22 degrees, so it'll sit at an angle like that. Doesn't give us much room on this shelf, but nevertheless it'll be useful. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this to here. Now this is slightly bent. It's also an asymmetrical line. So it goes like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill holes along here, so there are marker holes, and then I will pin it from the other side bit by bit. It's going to be a bit messy because I want to glue it as well. But I'll screw it actually, because that's the way to do it. Yeah, it's a bit complicated. I'm sure there's other ways of doing it, but that's what I can do. And then what we'll do is we'll rivet it in. So I've drilled this from the other side because this is a curve, unfortunately. So we've got to create a curve. I hope I'm right in doing this. Yes, that's right. This is a curve. This is curved. And so I'm pegging it from, I'm actually screwing it from the good side. And the problem is it's a curve, so actually what I've got to do is to lift it into its trajectory or curve. So I am using a bit of root strength. God. Almost perfect, which is very rewarding, I have to say. So this is all in, this is all in, this is all in. That's not, and that is. Excellent. So, and then I'll clamp it actually just to make sure.